Hi, Word on the Street family. Today we have the opportunity to have a conversation with the lady or the woman behind the music. So, beside me, we have a teacher, a traveler, a lover of mangoes and avocados, and someone who is really passionate about music. Welcome to the Word on the Street studio, Anna.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Word on the Street crew.
We are really happy to have you here. Is this your first time in Scotland?
It is my first time in Scotland, and I do just want to say with that intro, you did your research. There's not many people that know that I love mangoes and avocados all the way here in Scotland, but you must have been reading online.
No, I'm good, clearly. So you mentioned that this is your first time in Scotland.
Yes.
What brings you to Scotland?
Well, actually, this small dream that I have to do, just a music kind of trip tour around Scotland, Wales, Ireland, and then back into like England. Okay. And so, but also like on the big picture, I'm here because I'm traveling for overseas for 10 months. I quit my job.
Oh, wow.
I just have a year off and I'm just exploring with my husband, but he's in Switzerland doing some other stuff at the moment. We just tag team in and out. So it's kind of just this cool adventure year. And I tried to think of ways to be able to do my passions as well, like music and as well as outdoor stuff. And yeah.
Okay, so we'll unpack the music because you've said a lot of things already.
Yeah, I know.
First of all, 10 months of traveling. What month are you on right now?
So I'm on month 4 or 5.
Okay. And where did you start?
I started in February and I started in Hawaii for a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, my best friend, she turned 50.
Okay. Wow.
She is a legend, the biggest legend of all. And so we started with the trip. There was 7 of us and she wanted to surf in Hawaii for her 50th birthday. So amazing. We did a surf trip and then that kind of bounced me into the US where we explored, and I did music through the US as well and visited like all the national parks we could, mainly in the west coast. And then it bounced into Europe from there. Okay.
And so how long are you in Scotland for? Where are you moving to next? Tell us about your trips.
Yeah, so I'll be in Scotland just for 4 days and I'm hoping to hike Ben Nevis, so really into hiking as well.
Okay. Then you're in the right country.
Yeah, I know. I've heard all about how good the hiking is here, so I probably will need to spend some more time here at some point in my life. And then catching a ferry across to Ireland. I'm doing some concerts in Limerick and Dublin and then doing a concert next week. We go across to Wales and we do Birmingham and London. Okay. So that'll be good. And then actually I'm cycling with my dad and brother across to Paris for a charity event. Oh, wow. Yeah, with 24 cyclists. So we're going to get there just in time for the Tour de France to arrive. Oh my gosh, and we'll see that. I know. It's the dream. Yeah, the dream year. Like I don't know. I think just anything I'm like, just want to do this. Let's do it. There's no time like the present.
And so when you say you quit your job, this is your teaching job.
Yes.
Do you mind telling us why you quit your job? What inspired this 10-month tour of the world?
True. Well, I suppose it probably, maybe like many people, we were in a pretty tough situation in lockdown. Yeah. So we were in Melbourne, which is the most locked down city in the world. At one point, maybe of all time. But you could only go outside for 1 hour a day and you could only go 5 kilometers from your house for like months and months on end, for basically on and off for 2 years. So we kind of accidentally saved a lot of money because like we just
couldn't go anywhere.
Not much you could do. And but it also was a pretty hard time because we just me and my husband were like literally never at home. Like we just always outside and we just love nature and love being outdoors and love being with people, and all of those things were just taken away for so long. Yeah. And so I think that honestly that restlessness just like kind of grew inside of me for years, and then just decided that we just need a break, need to take some time. Let's just do things that we've been dreaming of and building up but just haven't been able to do for these years. So yeah.
And you mentioned that you wanted to feed your passions during these 10 months. Yeah. So I'm going to touch on the music later on, but what are these other passions that you wanted to feed?
Yes. Mainly like outdoor pursuits, like just just immersing myself in the nature of God. Like I just love being outside and just seeing new places, and also secondarily community, like just meeting people. I'm just passionate about people, like learning about cultures and why people do the things they do, and broadening my own perspective and worldview and ideas of life. And I think there's something that traveling really does to open your eyes to the way that people live, and in a way that's kind of hard to do in your own bubble, in your own culture. So I think community and connecting with people and being outside, immersed in nature.
Okay, so she's a lover of mangoes, avocados, community, being outside. Yes. Okay. And you talked about COVID, and I know it's something that we've experienced, and people are trying to move past that, but it would be interesting to know how you coped during that time, especially in relation to music.
Yes. Well, it actually was a kind of a good thing for my music. The first year, I actually did this random like October challenge where there was 31 days in October, and there's 31 31 chapters of Proverbs, the book of Proverbs. Yeah. So I actually wrote a song for every chapter.
Wow.
And so I read it, and it was sick. Like sometimes I literally just spent like 2 or 3 hours, like, because I just had nothing to do. Like, it was so wild. I mean, obviously I taught online.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask.
Like I taught online and stuff, but like once that's done, like you just got
it's like
7 hours. Like
next?
Normally, like the first term we were there, it was our first. Like we moved to Melbourne at the start of 2020. So it was like, so that first month we literally would get home at 9 or 10 p.m. because we were just outside exploring. We were just rock climbing, hiking, running, like trail running, like doing basketball groups, soccer, like everything,
Yeah.
We'd literally get home at 10, we'd leave at like 7 for work, and then
it's like
boom.
all of a sudden, all of that is restricted, and you just put in this box.
Yeah. And it was even crazy because we were actually hiking with our school. There's this awesome outdoor program, and we were hiking for 3 days in the bush, and we came back to this solemn assembly, and they were like, no one can come back like to school on Monday. We're cancelling this trip. We were going on a sailing trip with the year 10s.
Oh my gosh.
That got cancelled. I was flying somewhere for that weekend. That got cancelled. Everything just got cancelled, and I was like, this is just really weird. Yeah. Like, and then, our life just became this monotonous. So anyway, I just would sometimes write for like 2 or 3 hours, write songs, create. And I even bought like actually a mini studio like equipment. Really? I bought a Shure SM7B mic right here, this one. I feel like validated. That was like, they bought the same mic and these guys seem legit, so I must have done something right. So I created a little home studio, and there was something cool about being able to layer like songs and like build on it, and I bought a little MIDI and so I actually created quite a few songs through COVID, and released.
It's interesting. You've talked about how you did a lot of songwriting and how you were able to create the studio. Do you think you had that much time before COVID to indulge that passion of music, or do you feel like COVID gave you the space, or the restrictions that were put around because of COVID gave you the space to dive into your passion even more?
Yeah, it definitely gave me space because I would just fill it up with traveling, going places.
You seem
doing
like
things.
a very active person.
Yeah. Just like I kind of was just a bit of a non-stop kind of person, just like back to back things. And and it's interesting you're like really pulling this apart because there is literally a song that I wrote called it's called Meant to Be now, but it was called Beauty Amidst the Toil originally.
Beauty Meets the Toil.
Beauty Amidst the Toil.
Oh,
and it is
the toil. Okay.
It is actually my song of the rise from the ashes of COVID and actually how it was like kind of meant to be maybe in the end, because it did create this space. Like the actual chorus says so I turned the soil that had hardened in its place. Like, and I'd worked on my flaws with kindness and grace to heal all the wounds that I buried away, dig deeper into who you made me to be. And I think there was actually a time to really not only create space for like time and reflection on like what are you actually doing in life and what do you really want, and actually work on who you are, like, and growing yourself. And it was actually a really, even with all the hardships and sadness that kind of came with COVID and the feeling of being trapped, there was actually a lot of beauty that came from it. And the songs that have come from it are deeper and richer than I think I've ever written before. So
I think that's a very beautiful perspective, because as you were talking, I was just thinking about how God kind of puts us in this place of isolation when he wants to work on something within us and bring something beautiful out of it.
Yeah.
And from what you've explained, it's like that isolation caused you to make big life changes, you know, quitting your job, deciding to take a 10-month world tour and focusing on your passions, including your music. So there was a blessing amidst that isolation.
There
and sometimes
really was.
because our perspective is so focused on
the
the negative.
So bad. This is
exactly.
So bad. Yeah,
we miss it.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
And look, I didn't think, like, it was hard to get to that place of perspective, but it comes, and it's easier standing on the other side.
But in that moment, it doesn't feel like it.
It's like,
you're like, why? What is it? No, that's a very positive perspective. And I mean, we've talked about, we've touched a bit on the writing that you did throughout COVID, but let's go back a bit. When did you start writing? And has music always been a passion? If not, when did you get into it? Tell us a little bit about your music journey.
So I'm the youngest of 6 kids, and so my number 3, I'm number 6. She is really creative musician as well. Like really grassroots, just, you know, picked up the guitar, had a jam.
Wait, so would you say your family's musical? Like your
I
parents?
actually wouldn't say my family's musical. I would say, honestly, it's the girls. The girls can actually sing.
How many girls are there?
There's 3 girls, 3 boys, and then mum and dad.
Nice
and
balance.
so I would say mum can sing, all the girls can sing. Look, I think the boys give it a go, which is good. And Andrew tried to play the bass once.
This is on camera, so be careful what you say.
But I just still have this beautiful memory of Andrew with like the chord chart, just like really following along. But we had, bless his heart. Yeah, no, we all, but I would say that for some reason the girls really picked it up. Like Kate just was natural on the guitar. Just we're all pretty grassroots, just like, you know, just pass around Uncle Barry's guitar, like, you know, just give it a go. Rachel played clarinet. She's really good, and she can sing harmonies, even though she will never ever ever do it for you. So she's just hiding that under a bushel. And I tell her to bring that light out, girl. Anyway, so
let it shine.
Let it shine. Anyway, but yeah, I think there was this moment where Kate turned to me. We have this random shed on our property. It's actually an old church. We live in a really unique place. There's like 5 buildings, 27 acres, and in the middle is a church. I think it was like a kind of a cult. Anyway, but we bought it and we lived there. And so we used to go to the church, and she used to play, and there was a big blackboard, and I would write down all the lyrics, and I would sometimes contribute to the lyrics.
So wait, you would be writing her
lyrics as she's singing. And
she's making these up.
Yeah, she's like making it up on the spot, and sometimes I'd be like, what about this for the chorus? And then like I would play the bongo and I'd sing some harmonies, like, and I was like 7 or 8, and she was like, you know, the solid 13 year old.
Giving the instructions.
Yeah, she's awesome. And we called ourselves a name. We were called Roger and I. We just loved the name Roger. I didn't know who it was, but
Roger and I.
Yeah, we had like 3 solid gigs in our life. We wrote like 15 songs, but I think even just like that little experience, like it just kind of, you know, started something in me. And when I was 13, my brother ran this youth group at our church, and one of them asked me to sing a song, and just randomly I thought, I'm gonna write this song. And so like literally an hour before it, I'm like tinkering away on the piano, like trying to like do my best. And but I actually work really well under time pressure. Like like actually that's where my best songs like come. It's like literally just like 10 minutes. I'm like, okay, this is it. And and I sang this song when I was like 13, and people were just like, that was awesome. And I was like, okay. And so then from there, like, I just wrote like a few songs here and there. And when I was 17, my sister worked at this organic fruit and veg store. Actually, 4 of my siblings did, until one of them got fired, and then I couldn't work there anyway, just look. This sounds like a story. But and there was this guy just lived in the bush, and he had a studio in the woods, and he just said, come over and record. And I was like, whatever, cool. And so I would just go to his house sometimes after school, and we would just sing for hours, and he would play like his MIDI, and like it was really fun. and out of that came my first little EP, and he did it all for free. Like I really owe it to this guy.
That's
like
amazing.
yeah, and I had no idea like what studio was or meant, but it really like it was the platform like that stepped up. And then the second CD that I made, I won it in a competition. Like I just entered a song, I won like studio time, and I created this second CD. So I felt like God really gave me like the space and the places to do it. And then my third EP, which is like probably, you know, my most like mature, I did in 2018, and I actually co-wrote some of the songs with this student, and she also recorded her album. Like I kind of mentored her through the process. Nice. And and so then I've just like kind of done some singles since then. But yeah, I would say church definitely nurtured that like too. I forgot to mention. Yeah, because they throw you up the front, they ask you to do a special item. It gives you the place to share, and that kind of that's kind of all.
Okay. Yeah. And I like the fact that you mentioned church, because I had a conversation with a friend to say there's actually so much the church gives us that we don't realize we can utilize even in the world. Yeah. Because you find situations like where you're asked to give a presentation. Yeah. And you've done a lot of public speaking at church already, and that kind of prepares you for what you're going into.
For sure. Like, and I actually noticed this trend, that the kids from my church, we were kind of like, 1% of the school we went to, like less than 1%. But a lot of the kids from our church would actually become like leaders in the school. And I think it's because we are like just shoved up the front. Yeah.
Like go and sing.
Yeah, like
go
every
give
time,
a prayer.
Like I walk home, like into my home church. I haven't been there for like a year, and they're like, "Oh, Anna, come up the front." And you're like, "Okay, I guess I'm singing."
I'm just here to be a visitor. What's going on?
Like, and I'm like, I've never sung this hymn in my life, and I'm just like humming along, like up the front. Like leading, like it's it's just it's like it's just unmatched by any other random actual proper organizations.
No, I get that, and I mean you've talked a little bit about how you started writing, right? But I want to know more about the writing process itself, because I think okay, this is just my thoughts, but like I think if we're given a ministry, right? That whatever it is you've been given, whether it's a gift or whatever it is that you're using for God's glory, it touches you first before it speaks to anyone else. So even when you're writing music that's coming from a place of pain, for example, it's not just something that you're writing for other people to hear, but it's something that has touched you first. So I want to understand a bit more about the writing process.
For sure. I think you really nailed it there. Like, it's just so fun and beautiful in the writing process. Like you're just like, I just love carving space and time and just sitting like on the floor in my room, and I just have this giant big book that's like kind of my writing inspiration. I just like turn to a fresh page, breathe it in, like, you know, like,
let's go.
Let's go. And I think kind of, you know, sometimes little challenges like the October challenge, or like someone challenged me to write on the concept of nature, which developed my song Or, which has been my greatest like hit or whatever you can say, like on Spotify and stuff. But like, like I just sit down and that maybe there's something I'm grappling with or going through, and I just write these words on this page, and then I'll just like pick up an instrument and just strum like some chords, and then just like sing it, and it just kind of develops. And then usually if there's something that really hooks me, I'll just like press record on my iPhone and I'll just like sing it over and over again. And sometimes literally it takes 10 minutes and a song is born. And sometimes it's like, like literally I'll be humming it in the car, and I'm like, when was that? And I'll scroll back. It's been like 2 years since I voice recorded that one. I listen to it and I'm like, and then I like mull over it for a month, and then I like finally put it down. Sometimes I go into the studio and I haven't fully written the words. Like I'm like just kind of, I don't know, like it's just.
So like there's no formula. It's basically just going with it, and whatever God is like feeding you at that point is what. For sure.
I actually think that's the key. Like I think it's important to keep thinking, like to keep like waking up and doing your morning devotions where you're just like because often that is where like I'm like, that verse comes from. That verse needs to be a whole song. That's epic. Like, or this chapter, like Or that song on nature, like the one that has really gone well. Like I was actually running along a beach during a small gap in lockdown.
Okay.
And my friend had just said, "Hey, write a song on nature." I was like, "Looks too cliche, been done before. I'm not gonna be that person." And then I was just like, "Yeah, like raw, can you hear
inspiration?"
Like, yeah. I was actually like fully just like, this is like nature. I don't know.
Like, it's speaking to me through it.
Yeah, and it was like, it seriously has resonated like with like, it's the most one that everyone's like, this song is like,
What's the title of that song?
It's called Awe, like just awe, like totally in awe. Yeah, and yeah, I just tried to basically capture the beauty and the awe of God's creation in a song, which is like, how can you even do that? Because like there's beautiful waterfalls and birds that fly and the cliffs and the waves, and I'm like, anyway, so I tried my best, but yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's inspiration.
And where or how would you say music comes in terms of our spiritual journey? And I'm not speaking specifically on you, because you're a musician, that's what resonates with you.
Yes.
But in general, as Christians, where does music come in? What influence does it have? I mean, there's not just Christian music, there's worldly music.
Yes.
So what does that look like in the Christian journey? Like, where does music come in? What role does it play, if any?
Yeah. I think music is like the powerful... It is so powerful because it actually unites all humans. Like every human, like you can see it with all the earphones in, and people are just tapping away, like radio's blasting, like music really resonates and connects. And I think it's something that is, it's such a beautiful tool because it surpasses even like, you know, prejudice. You don't even know like who that other person is, but just that sound
but you're
can
able
move
to connect
you.
with the message in that
You're
song.
fully just like, like you can pass something to someone that I will never meet. Like in Russia, this person messaged me and like, I love this song is really meaningful, and can I ask you about this? And I'm like, how would I have ever connected with that person
if it wasn't for music?
Yeah, it's literally this music. It's so powerful. And I actually didn't always think like this. I like, it's weird as a musician, like I actually barely listen to music, like which
really?
It sounds really weird, but like I like just listen to the same like Missy Higgins.
Yeah, because I was
like,
gonna ask you like who are your musical influences?
Like I have like 3 or 4, and I just that's it. Like I don't even I like, it's super strange. But I heard this testimony once of like someone that gave their life to God like in the middle of a song, like in a moment. And then I was like, whoa, this music thing can really have power.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like I think I took it more seriously that it could impact others in this powerful way. And I've had some moments with music where I feel moved by it, but I feel more moved by the creative process of it personally.
Okay.
Anyway, I don't know, maybe it's like too deep, but like yeah. Anyway, yeah, so that's
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, no, but
it is a powerful thing.
And who would you say is your favorite Bible character? I know why I'm asking this question.
Yeah, okay.
I'm curious to
I love Peter.
Really?
Because
I wasn't expecting that. No. I was expecting David with the Psalms and the music. Like that was what I was waiting to hear. You tell me Peter?
I think okay. The reason I love Peter, it is unrelated to music.
Yeah, completely.
Peter is, I just feel like I relate to him so much. Like I don't know if you know the Enneagram, but I'm like a 7, which is a personality type. Just look it up. But it's basically like,
is that the one with like the 16 different?
No, that's Myers-Briggs, but
okay,
Enneagram's like 9. There's like 9 different like kind of categories.
Okay.
But anyway, if you know it, you know what a 7 is, and Peter's a 7, and it's basically you just want to get like everything out of life, and you're constantly like this, like I think the classic story is like when Jesus is washing the disciples' feet, and like everyone's just like, wow, this is so moving, like, you know, everyone's getting their feet washed, like, why is Jesus our leader? You know, they're contemplating it, and then Peter's like, yeah, no mate, like, you're not washing my feet. and then Jesus is like, if I don't, like, you have no part of me, Peter. And he's like, wash my whole body. Like it's like what Peter, like, he's like all in, all out, like. And I fully just feel that, like, personality-wise. Like, I just love Peter. Like, he's just all in, all out, just, and kind of rash, just like, yeah, I'll do that. Like, you know, like, yeah. So, yeah, like, even last week in Turkey, like, this random story. It was with my husband. And we roll into this town called the Lychee, and I have no idea what it's about, but all these people are paragliding, like just fully paragliding in. Like,
wow.
And just like over crowds of people. I'm like, this seems like kind of wild. Anyway, by 5 p.m. we were paragliding. Like, so it's like you just, but like
just
I think,
going with it.
Yeah, you just gotta go with. Like, I had no idea that I'd do that, but I did it. Like, and I just, this shirt is like from this ultra marathon run that was in this village that we found out about 15 hours before the event.
Is this the one that you were telling me about on the phone?
I was telling you, yeah, because I was like, I am getting an award,
and I was
because
like,
I ran this race. Yeah, but it's like, it's just like we signed up to it within 15 hours of it happening. We drove 15 hours to go to it, and then we just like run this ultramarathon through the bush. And I was like, I haven't done an ultramarathon ever in my life. So like, I don't know, just like, I just resonate with that personality. Like, you're probably getting to know me a little bit. Like, yeah, like if you like have a song tomorrow, like ready on like trees, I'll be like, all right, I'm keen.
No, but I think that's a beautiful way to live, because often we kind of have things planned out, and we want things to go a certain way. And I think sometimes that takes a little bit of the trust that we should have in God to just say, okay, let me just go with what is happening right now and just go with the flow. So I think that's a beautiful way to live.
Yeah. And I think many songs have been born from that.
Yeah.
From that moment.
No, I agree. We have 5 minutes left. Yes. So I'm going to ask like just a few more questions, and then we can end this session. Firstly, where can people look for you? Like, where can we find you? Where can we find your music?
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Well, you can find my music just if you type in my name. So Anna, A-N-N-A, Beaden, B-E-A-D-E-N, like beads. Okay. And annabeaden.com will take you to my website where you can buy CDs if that's still a thing you do. Maybe for your grandma, I don't know. Or you can just go to like Spotify, Apple Music, type in Anna Beaden Music. Will take you to my Instagram as well, and then Anna Beaden just on Facebook. Just follow me everywhere. I post very sporadically, like my brain. But yeah, that's where you can see like my latest releases and listen to my music. And
amazing.
Yeah, be cool.
Okay, and so you're in Scotland today.
Yes.
You'll be somewhere tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Where will that be?
I will be in Dunfermline, which is just like a little bit north of Edinburgh.
Okay, and you'll be sharing some of your music there as well?
Yes.
Okay, and from Scotland, where are you going to next?
So then next weekend, I don't know when this is released, but on July 7 and 8, I'll be in Limerick on the 7th and then Dublin on the 8th. And if you just look up my socials, all like the list of where things are and the exact places to go are there. If you want to, come to a live concert, I'd love to meet you in person.
Amazing.
And then, London the week after that and Birmingham on the Friday night. So, and then I'm just like around the Traps Day. Like if you ever see my stories that are actually on time and you're around, just say hi. Like I love meeting people. I just love getting amongst life, and
amazing.
It's been good.
So I have 2 final questions, and you need to answer these with just one word.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yes.
So 1, what do you want your music to be remembered for? 2, what do you want to be remembered for? One word.
Okay, the first one.
Your music.
Music remembered for hope.
Okay.
And my life, joy.
I love that.
Hope. I love those questions.
Hope and
I've
joy.
never been asked those before.
I love that. I love that response. So hope and joy. Thank you so much, Anna, for spending some time with us, sharing your music, sharing your story. You're an absolute joy. Sunshine.
Thank you.
So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Yeah. You guys are awesome. Thanks for what you do here and just bringing stories to life. It's really powerful. So thank you.
Thank you. We're done. Peace out.
Peace. Let's drink.
Of course.
Cheers.
Cheers.